Let's get some perspective now from senior political analyst Britt Hume. Good evening, Britt. Your thoughts on all of this today as it played out?
Well, I was not sure I would ever see the day when Democrats lost a shutdown fight. Everyone I've ever covered, going back several decades, no matter who was actually at fault, the Republicans got the blame. And it didn't happen this time, which is quite remarkable. And what is also remarkable is how little, if anything, that Senator Schumer got in exchange for giving in on all this, agreeing to end the filibuster and let the bill pass. The bill always had the votes to pass. So this is a remarkable turnabout, and it may be, Brett, it may be that we have now reached a stage where using the threat of a government shutdown or an actual shutdown to gain leverage on an unrelated issue won't work anymore. It is something I think most Americans could hope for.
For all the grief that that conservatives on the right side of the party give to Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell, it seems like he played this the right way from the beginning. Is that fair?
I think it is fair, and while it is certainly true, as John Roberts reported, the White House is saying that the president ended up in a good place as far as what his priorities are. It's worth remembering that over this weekend, which I think was critical to all of this when the discussions were going on mostly on Capitol Hill, that the president, wisely in my judgment, took a seat on the sidelines and let this play out on the Hill, where Senator McConnell and the Republicans were able to bring about this result. In no small part, I suspect, because the polls, while they still favored the Democrats on the issue, were beginning to turn, and I suspect Democrats saw that. I also would say, Brett, that for Democrats up for election this year, some in red states, carried by Mr. Trump, this is an uncomfortable position to be in, and I'm sure their influence had something to do with the outcome. But McConnell kind of stuck to his guns here. He really didn't offer them very much, and he got what he wanted. You put that together with a tax bill, and perhaps some of his critics within the Republican and conservative ranks will begin to think more highly of him than they have heretofore. You know,
it's interesting you mentioned those Senate Democrats up for re-election in red states, states that Trump won. One of them, John Tester, voted against this deal, stopping the shutdown, and others voted for it. But the progressives of the party, Think Progress, say Democrats cave. Progressive Change Campaign Committee, why people don't believe the Democratic Party stands for anything. America's Voice, tears of disappointment and anger. These are all things that the Republicans now are sending out to all of their voters.
Well, Brett, this is a mirror image of what happened back in 2013. You remember when Ted Cruz, who was acting as kind of a Pied Piper for conservative members of the House, was able to get them to try to shut down the government in order to undo Obamacare. It failed quite spectacularly. The leadership in the Republican Party was against it, but it went forward anyway, and it was a spectacular failure, after which it was argued by people who were for the whole idea of trying to do this, that if they just hung in there, if the Republicans had just stuck to their guns, if Ted Cruz in the end hadn't caved, all would have worked out very well. Well, you're hearing the same thing exactly from the left about Senator Schumer. The Republicans, you may recall, were calling this the Schumer shutdown. And now some on the left, as the remarks you just read suggest, are calling it the Schumer sellout. I suspect this will stick with him for a while.
Britt, as always, thank you.